Congratulations on your win last Friday. The days leading up to that game, what were practices like? I mean, you're coming off of a couple of straight losses, and I imagine it's very important for you and the team to get back on the winning note. What were the practices like leading up to Friday's game?
Actually, our practices were great. Monday we came in, we were a little bit banged up from Sierra. It seemed like every time a guy got off the bus against Sierra, that night it was every other guy seemed like he was limping. So we came in on Monday. We just went half pads. We went shoulder pads and helmets only. Kind of gave a little life to the guys on Monday. Had a very quick in and out practice. We got most of our work done during the 7th period football class, and so that helped us a lot. Can give them a little bit of life starting the week off right. Tuesday's practice was much the same. We were in full pads. Defensive practice was solid, and Wednesday just carried on through just like it was on Monday and Tuesday. So we actually had a really good week of practice. So probably our best week of practice, heading into a game, of the year. And we felt very confident about Friday's outcome.
72 points. Something you expected going into that game, or was that just a pleasant surprise to see, especially the running game take charge?
Well, we kind of expected a little bit. I mean, I didn't expect that many points, but we expected to do some good things on offense from our scouting that we had with Downey, knowing that they're more of an offensive team. You can see a lot of effort goes into their offensive game planning as opposed to their defensive game planning, and I think Pittman exposed their ability to stop the run the week before us, and we kind of just took advantage of that. Didn't really have to do a whole lot. We ran the ball very effectively in the first half, and just continued to do that in the second half, and were able to put up an amazing amount of yards for us. We've never been able to do that in terms of a team effort before, and it was just one of those games where everything on our side offensively seemed to work 90% of the time, and if it wasn't, it was because of a penalty here or there, or some kind of a stall. But it was definitely an offensive explosion for us, but at the same time it was against a team that's more offensive minded in itself. So if that was the case against a team with a solid defense, it might hold a little bit more water, but we'll take it. It was a win for us. It was a solid win. Our guys were up the entire time, so they were excited about that, and we'll move on to the next one.
A few of the players were you could tell they were happy to have the team back together. That whole unit back together. You think they played that way?
Yeah, I think going back a couple weeks, when we went to Sierra, we were not at full strength, and everybody knew it. You have to kind of mend the pieces a little bit and here and there and do what you can. But once we came back, and I think the guys started realizing as the week started going on, it's like we're at full strength again. We're moving along. Things are looking good. In the back of your head, it helps you play better. When you got your full squad there, and you got your teammates who are at full strength and that type of thing, things are going to click for you a little bit more. So their intensity was obviously there much more than it was against Sierra. Not that it wasn't there at all against Sierra, but just on such a higher note. I mean, I could tell in pregame that it was going to be a very intense game for us on our side, all 4 quarters.
Something else that we touched on briefly during the post-game commentary was the fact that some of the team took exception to a few of the publications out there that are kind of picking you guys to lose some of these games. Mm-hmm. How is that motivating the team, and do you like that aspect? That the team is kind of using that as motivation.
Yeah, anytime you can use the aspect of we have nothing to lose and everything to gain, that kind of thing, that's a huge advantage, because guys will play all out, and with that mindset that they don't have anything to lose, and so what's the difference if whatever the outcome is going to be, people predict it one way, it gives us more power going the other way. So yeah, the underdog role is good for us. I think a lot of people going into the season predicted us to just fall off the map once we had our pretty good season last year. I mean, it wasn't as good as we had hoped, but we had a good run for the last couple of years, and so I think everybody thought that was going to run out, and we're still hoping that people feel that way, because people tend to overlook us a little bit. So our guys play with a little chip on their shoulder, trying to earn that respect, but they understand they have to earn it. There's nothing that is going to be handed out to them. I mean, we were picked to lose after a two-game skid, losing to Escalon and Sierra, that's understandable. But I think our team realizes how good we are, and that's really what matters. And that's how they play. We maybe picked to lose this Friday night. It's fine. We don't really care about who picks us and where and that type of thing. As long as we know how we're gonna play on that Friday night, our guys will rise up to the challenge. If we're picked to win, it doesn't mean they can come out any less intense. It's just they like playing with that little chip on their shoulder a little bit. That dark horse mentality, I think.
One more game left in the before the league season starts. You have Modesto here at home on Friday. How important is it to, take that game, take what you've gotten from the Downey game, carry it forward to the Modesto game, and then into league season, bring that momentum and that winning attitude?
It means everything, because the fact that momentum is such a strong factor, especially at this level, especially in high school sports. There's a reason why they always say, you still got to play the game on Friday night. It doesn't matter what a team looks like on paper, their rankings, their stats, what anybody's going to write about them. You still have to play the game, because there's just so much more that's involved when you're dealing with this at this level. So momentum is huge. We get some momentum going into league play. We start getting on a little roll here. Just like I said before, there's no reason why we can't have that little 2-game skid at going 1-2, and then come back and go into Central Catholic on a high note, with some momentum. I don't see why we can't have that happen again. And I think our kids understand that, and they take it 1 week at a time. So Modesto will be up on Friday. They're going to come in with a chip on their shoulder as well, because we got to them last year at third place. They're going to try and do the same here. We're going to be ready for them. It's a good little rivalry we've created with some of these Modesto schools, and realistically, anybody that we play is pretty much a good rivalry. We have good games with anybody, so we're looking forward to it. It's a chance for us to come back at home. We've been on the road a little bit, come back at home and put up a solid outing with our fans.
Don't imagine that you've seen the team so far put forth a complete game yet, as far as nothing negative.
Right.
How close is this team to achieving that, and what are some things that you guys are still working on to get there?
Well, at times we look like we have a complete product at times, and then all of a sudden something will happen. We had the first 10 plays of the I take that back. The first about 7 plays against Downey on Friday, we moved the ball effectively. We were able to score, but each one of those plays, somebody on the offensive line missed a key block. Either missed an assignment or didn't do their job. Didn't get their job done to some extent. So we're still, it's the little things here and there. We're talented enough, and I told these guys at the beginning of the year, we have the talent. It's a matter of, your leadership and that stuff that's a little intangibles. But playing as a team is one of those that you have to be able to overcome. And so we had some things happen to us on Friday. We looked really good, but if you go back and you watch on film or you see it firsthand and what you're looking for, we're close, but there's still things that we need to be working on. Just looking at stats from Friday, we need to be able to defend the pass better. I mean, we're going to come into some teams that are going to want to come in here and throw the ball against us, and a majority of the time we can't let that, allow them to get back in the game because of it. So our pass defense needs to get better. Downey did a good job of quick stepping us where we couldn't get a decent pass rush on them, which means our DBs have to play better. We have to play better defense and pass. So there's some things to work on there. There's some things to work on. Like I said, the first 7 plays against Downey, we had an offensive lineman miss a block, miss a key assignment, whatever it is, and so that needs to get tightened up. Penalties, by no means did we play a penalty-free game on Friday. We had a ton of them, and I don't want to get too far into the amount and how many we had, and which ones we actually did have, but we had penalties, and we got to clean those things up. So we're close, but we're 2-2 going into our 5th game. It's going to the halfway point. We still have work to do. And hopefully we're peaking right about playoff time. And for us, playoffs start in week number 9. So we got to start getting this thing done now.